Hey guys, patch 12.12 is currently being updated. By the way, the patch notes are out and I'll link them down below if you want to read along with me here today. I'm going to be going through everything that I saw and some of my thoughts on the current update that we are getting. So first of all, we got the lighthouse location. We talked about the fact it's now called Cape Dilney. Interesting enough, though, it's actually one of the maps from Contract Wars, which was originally called Lighthouse. After the conflicts, the scavs took over to a fancy place and the old owners returned to decide to stay in Tarkov and establish their own order. Now, about this order, there is going to be a new PMC faction called USEC Rogues. They're a gang of former PMCs similar to Raiders. They're going to have really good gear and they're going to be protecting the military bases like that MG nest that you saw in the trailer. On top of this, the USEC faction will no longer aggro USEC players, but will actually aggro bear players from vicinity. If you are a USEC player and you go into their areas that they are protecting, they will attack you and you'll be marked as hostile for the next couple raids. This is the initial entry into PMC Karma and I'm really interested to see how this goes. We're also getting Inertia, and Inertia sort of got explained, but let's go through it super quickly. Walking and strafing is being affected, sprinting, sharp turning will now actually decrease your sprint speed. Landing after jumping or falling from heights will decrease your speed. This is the end of B-hopping as we know it. Leaning and sidestepping as well will actually now cost stamina. And on top of this, the higher your strength, the faster you can do all of this. So instead of being able to jump higher, you'll be able to walk faster, gain speed faster, slow down faster. You'll be able to turn and lose less speed, stand up, or do any sort of types of crouching, and this will affect your stamina less. Now, absolutely everything about Inertia is really interesting. Any change in stance will actually affect your stamina. If you're at the very bottom of crouch and you go to the very top standing fully, this will cost more stamina than if you go from the very bottom one notch up. Now, elite strength will not actually affect you in just that, but if you actually have 0 kilos of gear, you're not affected by Inertia. Now, if you have max strength, you need only 10 kilos of gear before it actually starts affecting you, and your maximum amount of kilos for max inertial effects is 80, whereas the default character will be left at 70. Now, this isn't a huge deal, but with the other perks that max strength has already, this is pretty nuts. There's actually a bunch of new malfunctions. I'm not going to go through all of them and how they work, but I just wanted to let you guys know a few things. The first one is there's a bunch of different types of jams, and you now need to inspect your gun to know what type of jam that you have. Whether it be extremely bad jam or a simple quick fix, your character now has to inspect the gun with a keybind to find out. Now, if you have max troubleshooting, your character will immediately know, so when you press the keybind, he'll just immediately do it straight away. They also rebalance malfunctions, so now malfunctions will not happen, doesn't matter what ammo or what anything you're using, misfires nothing, unless your gun is under 93% durability. On top of this, we now have overheating. We talked about overheating in another video, but just generally, muzzle attachments, receivers, and also anything to do with the barrel will either increase or decrease your overheating. Different types of rounds like a Golnik or more heavy 5.45 rounds will actually eat through the gun and heat it up much quicker. Not only just this, but different attachments will actually affect how quickly your barrel cools down. And if your gun gets really hot, there's going to be multiple different types of overheating that you can see. Let's go through the 4 types of overheating. First one is slight overheating. The weapon is heated, there's no reddening of the barrel, but you can see a little bit of heat dissipating off the front of it. The second one is medium overheating. The weapon is now heated and the reddening of the barrel and muzzle has started. Now, what's going to happen is your weapon's accuracy is going to decrease and the malfunction chance will increase, wear will increase, and the weapon's maximum durability will be reduced when firing. The third type is severe overheating. The weapon is very hot and the barrel and muzzle devices are sizzling hot. The weapon's rate of fire will actually slow down, and there's also a chance for a possible cook-off. This means rounds will fire without you pressing the trigger. Now, we've also got maximum overheating. When the level is reached, a malfunction occurs and the bolt gets jammed, the severe version, and this is a very slow animation to free it. They talked about real-life data and how they've tied it to rounds in Tarkov, and on top of this, now we're going to be seeing that rounds in general are going to lose velocity over distance. This is something that's always been in the game, but what they've talked about is the fact that they're now talking about the ballistic coefficient of the bullet itself. An example would be a more aerodynamic bullet will fly through the air a lot easier than a flat round like something from a slug. Now, what this means is muzzle velocity will now be tied to penetration. So, longer barrels will actually give you more penetration even with lesser tier rounds, whereas shorter barrels will actually reduce your muzzle velocity, therefore reducing your penetration value. On top of this, every single key in the game will now have 100 durability, except for those keys that already had durability, like factory and other mark keys. The key talked about VoIP super quickly, talking about the fact that we now have a key bind to be able to disable it instantly. On top of this, you'll only be able to talk for about 15 seconds total in raid, and if you spam it, you will be automatically blocked by the systems. You can also double tap Y in the gesture menu to report people around you when doing this. They've added a bunch of new operational tasks, not just the fact that they've added new ones, but different types of ones. You'll be able to go through and do specific extractions or anything like that. They said the variabilities in the operational tasks are now much greater, so only time will tell what we actually get. On top of this, we've got a bunch of new items. The first one is going to be new weapons, new weapon parts, and four new grenades. We're getting new equipment, new barter items, and new keys. Injector case is a case that allows you to keep your meds inside of it within your secure container. A keycard holder for you labs mains out there is going to be really awesome to get your hands on more keycards or keep them on you for whatever reason. Obviously, we're getting a rangefinder and 5 new types of ammo, including some armor-piercing rounds for 5.45, a new 7.62 ammo, and a bunch of 300 blackout rounds. We're getting new clothing across the board for USEC and Bear, new unique armbands, which I'm not sure if we get the option for every flag under the sun, but I guess we'll find out when the patch drops. We're actually getting a bunch of new armbands to slap on and new face types for both factions. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be including the camo that we talked about in a separate video, or if this is actually just the face that has the camo applied. I guess we'll find out. A lot of optimization across the board for reducing CPU load. On top of that, they talked about how SSR is now going to be enabled by default when you're using high graphics. They also said screen space reflections have also been optimized to run a lot better, to make water look better, which would be really good for Lighthouse. Fixes here, you guys can read through them on your own. Just a bunch of different fixes across the board for heaps of errors, including hopefully move error here. They changed a lot of things though, and let's just get into these really juicy fixes at the end here. Now, the first one is they actually improved the characteristics of some weapons. They removed the ability to spam grenades. Now, when you press G, the grenade will not come out immediately and you'll throw it. You'll actually have to press G, bring out the nade, and then click again to throw it, just like you would keybind it. This is to stop the quick grenading that Tarkov has, especially with the introduction of impact grenades. They changed the conditions for unlocking different things in the hideout to make them easier in some areas and harder in others. They've also changed the starting gear for bots and player scavs to sort of ease into the wipe with lower tier gear and then slowly add more. They changed a bunch of rarity in the spawn locations across a heap of maps. They've also fixed a bunch of task rewards to add more rewards to them to make them better. And hopefully the Jaeger ones aren't trash all of a sudden. And, hopefully they just remove Jaeger from the game. And last but not least, this is absolutely insane. They literally did what I've been asking for years. They've actually removed specific items from the flea. Let's go through what they are. These items cannot be sold, listed, or bought from the flea. So let's quickly go through what's no longer available to us. The Risty level 5 bulletproof helmet, the Exfil, which is a level 4 helmet, the Vulcan, which is a level 6 helmet, the Alton helmet, which is a level 5 helmet. The 6B43 Zabralo can no longer be sold when it's zeroed, so you can't cheese that quest. The Thor armor, the slick plate carrier, this is black, tan, and olive, can no longer be sold or bought. We got Hex Grid no longer available. Redart, Zook 6A, Gen 4 HMK, Assault, and full Gen 4 have been removed. Defender 2, Core Runner has been removed. Redart has been removed. The CPC, the TacTech plate carrier, the Osprey MK, which is a level 4 protection, has been removed. The Vortec TV110, level 4 armor, has been removed. The ARS armor, A18 Scander plate carrier, which is a level 4 armored rig, has been removed from the flea. The 6SH raid backpack, the Blackjack, and the Attack 2, as well as the Earl Stock F4 Terminator load-bearing backpack has been removed. 45 ACP has been removed. M61, M993, M62, 7.6254 RBS, 7.6254 RBT, 4.6x30 APSX, 4.6x30 Subsonic, 556 SSA, 556 M995, 556 55A1, 556 56A1, 7.62 BP, as well as MAI AP have been removed. 545 BS, including Ingolnik and the new round 7N40, have also been removed. 9x19 AP 6.3 and 9x19 PBP or 7N31 has been removed. 5.7 mil SS190 and SB193 have been removed. as well as a bunch of 12 gauge AP20 copper sabot and superformance slugs have been removed. 9x39 Val ammo, BP and SPP have been removed. The M441 round has been removed, including the M433, which is the two instant fuse rounds have been removed here. The KS23 star rounds, or the flashbang rounds, have been removed. 300 blackout AP has been removed. 338 Lapua AP. The FLIR, the Trijicon Reap IR. The GP NVG18 night vision goggles have been removed. The Sword International MK18, including the FN40 GL, has been removed. 5.56 60 bangers, including the 100 round Stanag mag, has also been removed. AK 7.62 by 3950 banger and also the 73 round drum has been removed. And last but not least, Rip to You Labs mains Terra Group Labs access cards can no longer be sold or bought on the flea. Hey guys, that's it for the patch notes breakdown. Hopefully there's something here that you saw that was really interesting. I am going to be jumping into a bunch of new content on this channel. So if you guys want a breakdown of Inertia, or some of the changes coming up with this patch, I'm going to be going through a lot of awesome content and you guys aren't going to want to miss it. So make sure you subscribe to the channel down below. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.